In this video, we will guide you through the process of implementing the square foot method in your next raised garden bed. First, you'll need a measuring tape and a pencil. I will then measure out a 1 foot distances on each side of the bed to create a square foot grid system. This will allow us to create 16 individual squares, thus helping us space out our plants. Number of squares you can create depends on the length and width of the wood planks used. In our video, we are currently using untreated 4x4 wood planks. We prefer using untreated wood to keep our garden as organic as possible. Once you have your square foot markings measured out, the tools we will need for this job is a portable hand drill, drill bits, drill bit gauge, and screws. To ensure we have the right size for our pilot holes, we will need to measure it on our drill bit gauge. The little black rectangle will allow me to determine which drill bit size I need. I will be using deck screws for our garden bed today. When you are using the drill bit gauge, try to test and see if you can remove the screw with ease. This means you have the right size. By testing the screws, I have determined the 11 by 64 inch is the correct size for this project. Once I have the correct size, I can then use the gauge to ensure I have the correct drill bit for the screw. I'll be using my brad point drill bit to make the pilot holes. These are helpful in ensuring the screw will go into the wood and reduce splintering. Next, I will use my screw driving bits to drill the screws into our garden bed. Now, when you grab your screw, take a look at the top and see what size slot you need. Then match it up with the appropriate bit. As you are securing the drill bit, turn it clockwise until you hear a clicking noise. Then you will know your drill bit is secure.
For a 4x4 bed, we need 3 screws on each side of the bed to create a 16 square grid system. Once the screws are placed, a little bit of space is left at the top so that I can tie a string around it and run it across from side to side and then across the other side, creating 16 squares. Now, this will allow us to plant 16 different crops in this very, very small space. This particular gardening method was created by Mel Bartholomew. He had an engineering background, so he sort of took the approach of not just maximizing the space, but also creating some order and have a sort of a system that allows you to divide your crops in all, these different squares. Um, so for urban gardening, this method works really, really well and allows us to grow uh, many different crops in a very small space. So in this bed, we're actually going to have 16 different crops: cucumbers, beans, cabbage, kale, turnip, lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, green onion, broccoli, parsley, oregano, thyme, chamomile, and Swiss chard. It's a very long list for such a small space, and they're all going to grow very well together using the companion planting method. So for examples of some plants that plant well together and grow well together, you can check out our video for some cool weather crops that you can plant in your square foot garden bed.